Hi, my name is Professor Rath, Rich Rath. I'm in the Ethnic Studies Department, and today I want to share with you a project that I have been working on with students for over 20 years now, which is the hypermedia edition of W.E.B. Du Bois's Souls of Black Folk. Now, this is a classic in African American literature. Still relevant today. It was published in 1903. And let me just tell you a little bit about what's special about this edition. So at the head of each chapter, there's a bar of music. So here, there's a bar of music and then an epigraph from a European poet. Each chapter has both of these except the last chapter, which has two pieces of music, the lyrics to one and the music to another. So Du Bois actually framed the book and his history of culture, cultural formation of Black identity in the United States from these songs. He used the songs as an example and also as a framing device. So the songs are actually the key to understanding the souls of Black folk. But many of the online editions, I think most of them actually, just omit the music. Now, Du Bois was a multimedia artist before there was multimedia. So he put these in, and they're not meant to be stellar performances of the songs, which are all Black spirituals. They're actually instead meant to be the equivalent of a teacher at a piano in a classroom. So that's how I recorded them. And there's no words, which is important if you think about it. So let's click on the music, or you can click here to go to the note. So that's not terribly exciting as far as music goes, but he was trying to teach us something with it. So each phrase that he quotes musically has lyrics that go with it, the words to the spirituals. So here he says, "Nobody knows the trouble I've seen." It's one of what he calls the 10 master songs of undoubted Negro origin. Now, we've since stopped using Negro and moved to Black or African American. There's still some debate about that. But Du Bois, during Du Bois's time, the current name was Negro. So you shouldn't use that word unless you're citing somebody who used it in the past. But that's why Du Bois is using it, is because he's writing in 1903. So the song is actually part of a longer one. So here's all the words to it. And "Nobody knows the trouble I've seen" is a lament that actually goes along in this case with the lament of the poem that we saw at the beginning. So here, let's take a quick look back. This poem by Arthur Symons. So this edition basically, besides connecting to the music, connects to the poems and explains what the meaning of the poem is, but also, more importantly, the meaning of the Black spiritual. And Du Bois was criticized when the Souls of Black Folk came out for not paying attention to the abilities of his audience. And this is kind of fun or ridiculous or racist or stupid, is that Du Bois actually says that his audience for this book is white people to help them understand Black culture. But the white reviewers said that Du Bois was putting quotations in German in and things that a sharecropper would never understand without ever bothering themselves to understand the music and the spirituals that are the key framing device of the book. So for many years, up until the 1990s, the songs were more or less ignored. They were picked up in a book by a man named Eric Sundquist in a book called To Wake the Nations. And since then, there's been a lot of scholarship on the music, but there's no edition that actually brings the sound of it together with a discussion of what the song meant. It also tells where it fell in Du Bois's hierarchy of songs. So this, he says, is one of the 10 master songs. And later on, here they are, and they fall into 3 categories that he remarks are correlated with the development of African culture in the United States. Du Bois put each of the songs into one of 3 or sardonically 4 categories. The first was primitive African music, and primitive was a term that was current in 1903. And what it meant is music that came over pretty much intact from the continent. The second was Afro-American music, and that was music that was the creation in the Americas of African Americans, but based on both their own creativity and the songs that they brought with them. So it was still distinctly African, but it was also distinctly American. And this ties in with Du Bois's notion of double consciousness. The third was a blending of both Black and white cultures, again tying in with double consciousness. And he somewhat sardonically mentioned a fourth, which this was the days late in the era of minstrelsy and vaudeville, where white people would dress up in blackface. So the fourth possible category is the white interpretations of Black song, where he argues they get the jingle, but not the music, in one of my favorite quotes. So each of the songs for each chapter is framed as one of these master songs, and each of them falls into one of these categories. So you can follow those through, and you can also follow through where the song was sourced. And this is important too. So it could be the Hampton songbook, or it could be for other songs. Let's catch one of the other songs. So this song, for example, came from the Fisk songbook. So Fisk was where Du Bois taught, and Hampton was a more accommodationist place in the style of Booker T. Washington, who Du Bois critiqued. So you can kind of tell the difference. The sort of accommodationist songs come from Hampton, and the more militant songs come from Fisk. And it goes through and explains which songs are which. And it will give a little bit of an explanation of what it means to come from Fisk or from Hampton. So as you can see, this is quite a bit of depth. I've worked with students on it for since 1998. And those first students produced the first edition in 1998. Which is still online and looks like this. Still readable. The bars of music don't always work, but you can download them, and it looks like 1998 hypertext. This one we've been working on since 2016, the update, and probably a dozen or 2 students have worked on it. And if you would like to, if you're interested in learning about how you edit a classic like this, what it means to format and put together a critical edition, contact me. We can talk about maybe doing an independent study course where you would work on it. I'd love to put together a team of people and finish it, because we're within striking distance of being done. So with that, I'll thank you for your time, and I hope you'll contact me. Bye now.